Hello there everyone, this is Mark3 and welcome back to a bit more Sword of the Stars. And for the first time in this series, I am not actually playing this to test any settings or anything. Progress and all that. But yes, welcome back to Sword of the Stars. We are currently sitting pretty in 4th place. So this is more or less the same as it was last time. Hivers are in dead last, which is a bit of a shame to see, but at the same time it's a bit of relief. The Tarka are in first, which might pose to be a problem later, but, you know, depends on how well they're doing, but we don't know. They're somewhere deeper into our map. And our immediate neighbours and or future problem child, the Zuul, are in 5th, so they are technically weaker than me at the moment, though by how much and in what way we do not really know. All I can say really is I'm currently economy focused, so a lot of my power is really in my industry rather than my fleets.
Over time and over budget, but at least we finally have this tech director.
Yes. The Zuul. At the end of last time I mentioned that I have mixed feelings with having these guys as my neighbours. We will get to that. We will get to that. First things first though. I've had some feedback on what I asked last time, and it was from Happy Afer. Happy Afer, you're the only one that actually weighed in on that. So, what's it? Actually, you mentioned it as part of your comment. I should probably go ahead. Right. So, and the impression I got is I really should go for the AI textures because they're useful, but I will not be save scumming, even though it's it can often end a game's run if the AI tech goes too badly. But yeah, I will not be save scumming that, but I will be trying to pick them up. Not priority rush them, but I'll get there when we're a bit safer to do so. We're not quite there yet. If we go to have a look at the tech tree, wherever the heck they're hiding. Come on, AIs, I know your viruses are in here somewhere. Where were they? Oh, there it is. Right. So even if I go flat out on it, I am at 7 turns at the moment. That is a bit long because one of the things that makes AI dangerous is if you take too long to get it. The 50% research boost is very, very tempting, but right now, not really. So, let's do some other fairly important bits and bobs, which is, since we've got the Zuul nearby, we need to start preparing on that one. So, let's do the unthinkable. Let's study the Xenos.
This project could be the big breakthrough you have been looking for.
1 turn is about there. If I crank it up to about there, that probably will auto-resolve even if it has a research failure, so that'll go. And let us actually go ahead and answer the comments as well, because yes, we have comments from, as I said, Happy Afer. So, let me just go in and start putting in some trade and stuff. Yeah, give me a second, actually. Okay, that'll do. As you can see, I have been spending. My pie chart has turned red. Yes. Well, that's okay, though. I've just done a pass on trade ships. Nearly all my worlds are now producing freighters for the next 5 to 10 turns. Mostly 8 turns on average, but that'll pump up my trade income a bit further. Just to get that going on. I think I will also, because there's no benefit waiting, let's get the police cutter out here, because I actually did what I was talking about and I had a look at what the heck they meant to do. Problem is, even in its prime, Sword of the Stars was not really the best documented of games, so information is a bit thin on the ground at this point. So, police cutter. I believe they might infer like a morale or stability bonus if you've got some in position around a planet. But for these to actually have an effect on trade raiding, they have to be in the defensive fleet, like the guard fleet, I believe, of the planet. And how many has an effect on how effective they are in dealing with that. If you're near like troublesome or hostile forces, you need more police cutters to keep things under control. And while we have seen multiple races attacking our traders at this point, that was actually the random raiders because trade was going on. They just randomly generate which ships turn up and which technologies are on them. They don't actually mean that those races were raiding me because, well, we've only just discovered our immediate neighbours are the Zuul and the trade fights you've seen so far in previous episodes. None of those were actually against the Zuul, so, you know, that kind of shows that they're innocent. Well, well, innocent of that at the very least. I don't know. Oh yes, the Zuul. Let's advance turns and clear our debt as I keep going, and I'll go to the get comment. So from Happy Aether, we are focusing on the Sword of the Stars part of the comment first. Back to Sword of the Stars. I like the research times are so flexible. Oh look, they're fighting. What a surprise. And they've got an asteroid monitor over there. Okay. Well, we're not going to happen with that one. I think it maybe drop into that just to let you guys see on camera what an asteroid monitor looks like. We might not come across one for a while, though we'll have to deal with that one up there eventually. I like that the research times are so flexible. I don't like having a massing income make all research take annoyingly many extra turns from overspending. This is true, but overspending is actually capped in how much they can get. You know? Now these guys are the Zuul. As you can see, they are looking kind of like the pirate raiders and things. They are very scrappy. These were built after the slave raid thing was in the game. So the slave raiding random encounter actually preceded these guys. And then these guys were built on that entire aesthetic, as you can see. Very junky kind of group. Very interesting to look at, very busy to look at. Though this is their special ship, a Rip Boar, this is called. And this is their FTL system, though again I'll get to that when I say I've got mixed feelings about being up against these guys. That said though, I think this is actually one of their tankers. I think this is a tanker. Oh, there goes my scout. That's fine. Off you go. Right. X shows overspending, but it's capped to like 150% or so. So if you drastically overspend, yes, there's an asteroid monitor in all its glory. And there goes my destroyer immediately. As you can see, this is actually a pretty nice piece of kit. Can't build these, all you can do is claim control, and then you have to break past them if someone else has already got control of them. But yeah, that's that.
It took a lot of broken minds, but we finally have the Zuul a little more mapped out.
Interesting, that isn't it? It took a lot of broken minds to learn how to translate the Zuul language. Also, that managed to complete one turn ahead. So, I'm sorry, I'm going slightly out of order here. I think I'll get back to the comments in a moment. Mixed feelings. This should tell you exactly why. The Zuul are actually a long-abandoned, vat-grown warrior race in an ancient conflict. You know, but now they're off their chains. They are very, very aggressive, hyper-aggressive on everyone nearby, and they kind of do their own things. They are not very diplomatically inclined. They just like to dominate and consume. So, this is the only race in the game where translating language tech gives you a ship part. In this case, it gives us, for all three classes of ship size, the war section, which kind of tells you the whole situation, I think, doesn't it? Let's pick up. Let's get our options rounded out a little bit further. Honestly, I think we need to get polysilicon alloys sourced out. Let's pick up that
Research
one.
computers
Next.
online. Labs fully staffed.
3 turns. Okay, I need to crack that debt problem first, so I'll deal with that one. So, going to design the war section. If you bring up my basic armor, And then we got the war section over here. So this is 9 and 1. This converts it to a 3 and 3. They cram 3 medium turrets on a central, very bulky, and I think up-armoured as well as up-gunned combat section. Armour 136. Oh no, the armour is actually slightly weaker. They're literally just going all out, we need to vaporize the opponent as soon as possible situation. That's what even knowing how to speak to the Zuul inspires. So yeah, you know, that's one of the good points of having them as our neighbours. The fact we've immediately got access to the war segment. I mean, if we pop up to cruiser size 591 and then war 055. Sorry, 053, sorry. So large mount, large mount, large mount. So this thing gets 3 large mounts on that upper deck up there. Though, of course, because of the other segments being a cruiser, we've lost access to anything small, which is in itself is another problem. So I would actually step down to a standard command because it gives us 2 small mounts on either side of the nose. Just because it's generally useful to have for ship design, but we'll get to that later. Yeah, the Zulu are a very friendly race. Very, very friendly. Yes. They are also right behind me, I think, in general, for fastest straight line speed. Why? Well, because the Zuul can use node drives. But not the way we humans do. No. So, the Rip Boar, I mentioned in that combat. The Rip Boar is their FTL core ship. They can use node drives, but they don't have the sensors to actually track down natural node space. So, in keeping with their warlike nature, they literally tear at the fabric of subspace to create their own node lines. To do fast and light travel, they literally wound the universe. So yeah, that's kind of what they do. There is another drawback though, which is they tear it in an unstable manner. It's not natural, so the node lines they do that to make actually deteriorate and disappear. So they aren't permanent. Unlike human node lines, humans travel fully stable lines.
Completed, sir.
I believe that humans can actually backtrack through the node lines torn open by the Zuul, but I've never really seriously fought the Zuul, so I couldn't tell you for sure. I think that's a thing that I've read somewhere, somewhen, somehow, maybe, possibly, kind of, sorta, but, you know, maybe, maybe not. Polycyclic alloys, we've got that one. Well, that's troubling. We don't have the next tier up. Let's pick up salvage tech then, I think. Salvage would be actually pretty good to have. Do I want it though? There's so many basic techs I'm missing though. That's part of my problem. Let's pick up VRF tech.
Full funding received, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm upgrading the Gorse guns. Right. Back to the comments. I remember many times where I was so heavily invested in economy that I was at least a whole research tier ahead of the AI empires. Yeah, apparently
we have made a breakthrough, Commander.
Point defense tracking, that's the tech I want.
Yes,
behind
Commander.
VRF.
Initiating research project.
Apparently it can be quite easy to out-tech the AI, but it's part of how slow I am that I often didn't really find myself in that situation to do so. And this one has overrun. I'm just going to leave it be and go forward. Continuing. And then it got to the point where even just spending 1% of my income on research would overinvest any available techs to the point where I pretty much always failed to get a tech. I can do pretty much any research project in one turn, but I actually need about 5 turns from constant failures from overfunding. That sounds like it's massively running away from the actual...
Yes, Commander.
There is a limit. The chance to fail a tech so badly that you lose that tech is, I think, vanishingly small in most cases. It's only somewhere it can do that, but simply over-investing doesn't really get you that far.
System update.
Unless there's something that triggers beyond a certain amount.
Successfully completed, sir.
I'm not entirely sure on that one myself, but it's not a situation I've exactly been in either.
Fully staffed.
Could reach aim for each ship to 1 turn, takes 5 turns,
System
and that includes AI tech
update.
that has such bad failure options. Okay, so if you're having in that situation with the AI tech, then you have left AI tech very, very, very late, and you could have been benefiting from that far sooner if 1% of your economy doing that is causing such problems. You left AI tech alone for that run after failing 4 times in a row on just the one tech. Ouch. Yeah, that would be really bad. And no, I think safe scrumming should only be used if there is a big event that is outside your control, like the asteroid half destroying your home world, or a huge invasion happening out of nowhere, and you'd lose the game without reloading. Losing AI tech is not on that list, so please do get them. Okay, losing AI tech in itself, let's be clear, is not on that list. A full-blown AI rebellion, by those terms, is on that list. And by the way, I've also tested in another testing game. Leaving this to auto-resolve around a planet always winds up damaging the planet and losing millions of people, even though the pirate raiders wouldn't have really been able to do that. So it's far better to just let this thing resolve. And as you saw, I was running around getting text in the background as well. We have a couple of cruiser freighters in here. Just getting my ships in there. So that said, the fact we've got some heavier phasers is quite useful. That said, they are kind of doing their thing a little bit. But you can see like these guys have turned up with red lasers and not much else going on, so you know. My ships are actually doing okay for the most part. So, let's go back to the thing. Continue. About the planet takeover question, does not taking them over have any benefit to you? Not really. I think they might count as a trade link, but that's at best. In fact, I don't think they count as that usually. I don't remember there being any noteworthy boons for letting them alone, so go for it and take them for yourself. There are several ways I can try to take them. I think humans are kind of unique as well, as in they go from being there to being something that can actively be an irritant to you because they sit across some of your node lines. So you're constantly having like an auto battle prompt whenever you go generally in that area. This freighter is in a really bad way. Also notice the enemies are below my freighters, so my freighters' guns, which are on the top, can't really do much. I didn't lose anything, but some of the freighters are pretty banged up. Oh. And that was one of the armor ships getting pummeled just there. It didn't die, but it was damaged.
But at least we finally have this tech, Director.
That's okay. Let's go ahead and pick out another research. Heavy combat lasers. We got the Lancer tech. Always nice to see. I do want to start getting into battle computing, though.
Research computers online. Labs fully staffed.
And I'll go ahead and set that down there. So, yes, go ahead. So, to be honest, there is a reason to take them, and that is the fact that if that colony gets contacted by a race of they are from,
Commander.
they have a decent chance of just flipping over to that race. Same story if I come across a human one, they have a decent chance of flipping over to me. And that's because, if we go into here, and I'll pick up, is it data synergy? Yes, it is. Right. I do want that, so let's pick up data synergy next. Accelerate it to try and get it 1 turn.
This project could be the big
So,
breakthrough you have been looking for.
looking at for peaceful overtake, we are looking at Xenotech, which is somewhere. I swear, sometimes I struggle to find things in here. Drones. Right, so in question is incorporate. Notice, by the way, the Zuul tech line for that actually doesn't have incorporate because they have a unique structure in that regard. Every other race has incorporate, and this allows us to integrate a colony of this race into our species. This gives me a chance to incorporate a neutral human colony into my race, flat out. But then there's also a higher one, which is subjugate. Take full control of a planet, only allows new policies in assimilation, but also allows you a chance to absorb much weaker human empires into your own without firing a shot. So this is another way to passively try and get through. The alternative is to go in and forcibly deal with a planet, which would include things like planetary bombardment and a whole bunch of stuff like that. Really, though, I don't think that the 2 colonies in my area are on a direct transit line to get towards over here, where I'm going to have to be active. But they are something that is a bit of potential future risk if I leave them alone. So it is better if I do something about them. Let's actually check trade view as well. I don't think they count for trade links because they aren't actually a friendly thing. You can also see in here, like, we do need to actually update our trade lines with all freighter crews as well. Here's the one that almost got crippled as well. You can tell because it's really badly damaged. Something you can do, though, is you can actually dispatch ships to these trade zones, and then they can actually show up with your freighters in a actual freight fight. So that's worth noting. But in particular, I think adding a repair ship or 2 to each of these sectors would be very beneficial to me. Just like maintaining the freighters and fixing ones that get damaged and stuff like that. So, just things like that. Though I do have to strip out all of the actual destroyer-sized freighters to increase my overall net revenue. That's something else I need to do. Anyway, last part of the comment on SOTs is about police ships. I'm not entirely sure what they do either, but I think there's some system reduced chance of raiders appearing there. This is true, as I said earlier, depending on factors like nearby hostile space and things. You need more of them to reduce the risk. I think your planets are a bit more profitable. Don't remember what metrics. Propaganda ships is the other one that actually gives you, I think, a morale boost to your worlds and helps them to resist enemy influence. They have a debuff to nearby enemy colonies within their effect range. So, yeah, there's reason to get propaganda ships scattered around my space as well to tell the people the truth about what is happening. You know? I mean, sure, I wouldn't hide things from my people at all. I don't know what you're on about. Enter. But yeah, I have to basically strip out and redo all my trade ships and basically the bulk of my defensive platforms at this point as well. But that's just how it's going to be for the moment.
System update.
In fact, I think I'll do that now. Let me just
over time and over budget, but at least we
let me just sort
finally
that
have
out,
this tech
and then we
director.
can talk about like all these random texts you see me picking up in the background. There was one under. I think it should be engineering at this point. Where was it? Where is it? Here we go. Right. This is one I could have picked up a lot sooner, but researching that first beam weapon, my particle beam over there, that's my first large slot mount. That actually under engineering gives you access to a spinal mount, which allows you to fit a spine-mounted heavy weapon into a destroyer-sized hull, which potentially is quite useful. It's less useful now that I've got cruisers, because cruisers can fit large turrets flat out, but it's still an option earlier on for things like that. But I'm going to pick up some more techs and sort out my trading. So, yeah, see you in a few minutes. In fact, I think I
This
will pick that
project
up
could
just in
be
case
the
I need it.
big breakthrough you have been looking for.
Let's give it to there. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Unknown target. We've got an unknown. Don't know what it is. Is it coming from me? I don't know. Could be, possibly. Right, so what I've been doing is I've been pulling back all destroyer class vessels. Oh, you guys are actually out of fuel. Oh, I've been trying to pull back all destroyer class frames. Let's actually, I guess, scrap out the ones that can't make it back because apparently fuel distance is a thing for them. I didn't quite realise that, but it makes sense. So I've got 10 destroyers up here I'm scrapping.
Aye, sir.
And there's
Abandoning
another squad
ship.
over here, which will also run out of fuel. Meaning I should actually probably send a tanker of some kind out with the repair ships I want to put into the trade zones as well. That's interesting. Okay, good to know. Now that is some kind of visitor. I don't know what it is or where it's going. Let's try to find out. Let's focus on this unmoving sector here and we'll see where it moves to. Hopefully it's not heading my way.
System
It's not,
update.
it's heading over that way. Okay.
Over time and over budget.
Whew.
But at
Okay.
least we finally have this tech director.
I really don't know what that one is. I know there's one that crops up and goes like, "Hey guys, give peace a chance. Stop fighting, you idiots," and stuff like that. I don't know, but anyway, let's actually start doing something with all this juicy technology we picked up. Though actually, I want to get salvage tech as well because I haven't actually picked that one up yet. So there it is. Yes.
Yes, Commander. Initiating research project.
And someone sent me a message I can't translate. Sure, guys, sure, you do you. I should probably actually try and get that subjugate tech just because I want to try and pick up those colonies. Right, so the most immediate use of the tech, I've actually got police cutters queued up to build and get those sorted out. As I said, we've got spinal mounting, which lets us fit destroyers with heavy weaponry. In this case, it picks a heavy weapon to the back of these ships. Forward firing, of course, but this will make some kind of like dedicated tank destroyer-esque things that like to look at the opponent and do fun things. A good pairing would actually be a strafe command head as well, because that's got 4 forward-firing guns, so they point in the same direction. But it leaves this ship actually quite vulnerable by itself, with only 2 other slots mounted on the engine for defense, and they don't even cover the side arcs too well, so, you know, there are some drawbacks with it all. Honestly, I think fitting some UV beamers in the back of this would probably be a better idea. But this could work as a somewhat useful ship. So let's give it the bells and whistles, and this will actually be my first one. It has also notably no spare small slots ready to fit point defense weaponry into it, which is something else that's unlocked. Point defense Gauss and point defense lasers. So let's put the UV beamers in the back of this one. This thing's meant to be like focusing on damage dealing on ships its own weight class or bigger, preferably bigger because it's got the the particle beam fitted to it. But
Design entered into naval
it's not going to be able
archives.
to fight too effectively against groups. It's a single target kind of guy. Armor, let's upgrade you. You are focus node. Upgrade those. You are fitted with... actually, a pretty decent one for the humans is a hammerhead, and then fit point defense guns to the front of it. Because then you've got all-round cover from incoming missile strikes. As for our missile strike, well, this thing can actually carry a phaser bank and purple beams in the sides. In fact, well, slight reduction in accuracy, but a generally better rate of fire. I think DPS is actually a bit better on the X-ray lasers. So this guy is more of a brawler destroyer. Let's send him in there.
Yes, sir. Ship design ready for construction.
That'll do. But we also need to do an update, which is strip out the colonizer ship. The tanker is also a throwaway ship still, but the LD we can now afford to upgrade with better stuff. For some reason, beamers don't seem to work too well with these, but that's why I actually went for X-rays specifically, so that can actually fit these defensive platforms with X-ray lasers. And then, of course, they come with a fixed missile mount in the top, and that is that. So,
Design entered
LD
into
Mark II.
naval archives.
18,000 to 22, nearly 23,000. That is okay. Now the problem is I have to go around and scuttle all of my existing LDs, and then have to leave it a turn for the scuttling to take effect, meaning a turn without defense platforms, and then I have to rebuild all the platforms. So, yeah, it's a bit of a faff to go around updating defensive platform designs quite a bit. So, yeah, let's actually do this. So, defenses, LDs, scuttle.
Aye, sir.
Give me a moment while I sort
Abandoning ship.
all this out, because, as I said, this is something that really could have done with some kind of quality of life automation
Aye,
kind of thing.
sir. Abandoning ship.
Now, there is something else I could be building as well in terms of defenses, and this is the medium version of a defensive platform. It comes with a dedicated missile mount, and then it has a selection of medium mounts as well, 4 of them, and then it's got the typical double mounts of small weapons as well. So that is something that comes into play on this one. This is definitely a bigger, better, but it does require a mid-sized planet to even be built in orbits. If a planet's too small, it can't even build them. So that's one thing. That said, the thing with the platforms is they tend to be moving around in orbit and be far away from enemies. They can't really close the distance on their own. So I can choose to either give it more reliable close-up punch, or I can increase its ranged potential to make it more dangerous at enemies that are chasing after the platforms or just attacking other ships over the planet itself. You know, it makes it a bit more flexible to have more missiles on it than other weapon types. At least it does if your missile tech keeps up. You have to keep up with the missile tech though, because at this point my missiles are kind of outdated. So I'm thinking of going a partial thing, like because these things are also going to get pummeled, I'm going to install some point defenses as well. Then a pair of extra missile launchers to help out at distance, and X-ray lasers to help up close. So this thing is a kind of multi-purpose thing. But that's my medium thing.
Into naval archives.
There is another version of the medium platform, however, which is currently locked off behind another tech type, which I'm considering maybe picking up as well, because that one is a bit more generally flexible than a normal medium platform.
System update.
Over time and over budget. But at least we finally have this tech director.
Construction project initiated.
Let's do that. Actually, maybe it's... Well, first off, let's scrap this 39 freighters that are sitting around at my homeworlds,
Aye,
because
sir.
they are
Abandoning
going.
ship.
I've been building cutters, as you can see. The propaganda ship has a, range of 12. It might struggle to reach some places without some tankers, though, because of there are gaps in my node network, and I can't upgrade the engine sections on those things. So there are reasons to have problems. Let's keep on going, though. We've got salvage tech. Very good. If I'm going to think of the other medium platform type, we need to actually go into combat drone technology.
This project could be the big breakthrough.
Those unfamiliar can probably guess. The other platform available in medium and above size is actually drone-based. It's an altered version of the normal one, which just has some combat drones fitted to it as well.
Update.
And I've also, as you can see, I'm building police cutters ready to send them out to help to fortify my trade income. You can reach there, you can reach... they struggle a bit to get to this area here. That's worth noting. In fact, let's actually get a tanker ship out here. In fact, I've not even designed one. Let's design that real quick. Now, this thing is going to... This isn't going to be a disposable one. This is a full-bore refinery. So let's actually do the job properly. Fit it out as best we can. Oh, we've also picked up a new bridge type, by the way. As you can see, the battle bridge. This has come from having heavy combat lasers, so it's a more forward-focused one. It fits heavy beam weaponry in the forward mounts, heavy combat laser. Also comes with a large and a couple of medium turrets fitted. Note the lack of smalls, and point defense only appears in small, so we are kind of having a few issues in that regard. I think the more useful general one would actually be to put a standard one in here and then fit point defenses in those. Missiles in the rear. This thing is not meant to fight by itself, but this thing carries a lot of fuel and, as I said previously, can refine materials out of a system to refill itself. So that's something.
Yes,
You are
sir.
that.
Ship design ready for construction.
And then we have the repair and salvage. As you can see, it can only take basic alloys for reinforcement. And it's got operating arms underneath. It's got storage racks on the sides, holding stuff. I kind of want two versions of this, though. I mentioned I was going to put a version in with my trading fleets. This one that goes in the trading fleets might wind up in a fight. So having one there that can actually reasonably fend it off incoming destroyers would be useful. The battle bridge, not really. This is a cruiser. Battle bridge's heavy laser requires turning speed, really, to try and bring that to bear. Not destroyers will have problems. Strafe would probably be better at 55. And gives me 6 phaser beams in a forward mount. But it will still have to turn to catch up with enemies. So maybe the hammerheads, with its greater coverage of turret arcs, would be more useful in general. Then of course I've got a couple of missile launchers on the back. And no point defense on this one. It's going to be what it's going to be. This is...
Design entered into naval archives.
Oh, I was going to rename that. Okay, so got that now as the freighter maintenance ship. It's meant to really fend off against smaller targets. Got some beams to do some damage. It's got a couple of missiles on the rear arc to help protect itself a little bit and give some more ranged firepower. It's not going to win major fights by itself, but it's not meant to. It's just meant to help out a bit. And in general, it's meant to help repair any freighters that get damaged during a fight after the fact. Then I also have another version which is fitted out almost exactly the same, but it's got a standard command instead with point defense guns and all its other weapons and missiles. So this thing is meant to like stand off and pummel, but it really shouldn't be in the fight in the first place. So yeah, this is the one that's going to be with my actual combat formations. At least that's the plan. The biome colonizer could use an update as well. Actually, I already did that. Yep, Mark 3. I forgot to put plasma focusing on it. That's why Mark 2 isn't there, because Mark 3 is that. So that's sorted out as well. And we do have some choices to make regarding designs of the other ships. So we've got the war section, right? We've got the heavy combat lasers, which gives us the blazer section, as well as a torso fit, which carries 4 heavy cutting lasers. Worth noting. And then we've got the bow bridge as well, which carries a 5th. So that's 5 cutting beams on it. Along with, of course, a large mount, a couple of medium mounts, and there are some, unlike the war section, there are some side-mounted turrets which can fit small equipment, but generally you'd want point defenses in these to help protect against missiles attacks, or you just have the X-rays to help with general purpose combat and intercepting some missiles, but not many. This might be a useful one to get, though an alternative might be turning speed 40. If we give it a strafe section, it gets a lot better at turning. Though it loses one heavy beam and it loses the heavy turrets at the front. Pointing straight, it now carries 6 phasers, which is in itself also an alternative. But it would be able to swing about better to get the torso-mounted heavy cutters on target as well, because it's much better at turning. So I think that's a reasonable alternative to it, at least. So let's install that one.
Yes, sir. Ship design ready for construction.
Do we want to bring the war section in? 3 large turrets. As you can see, the slightly higher rate of fire, slightly lower range. The particle beam is actually relatively comparable to the phaser mount, but it's an entire slot higher. So these are actually double-barreled phasers fitted here. And the armor section also agrees that the phaser is a generally more powerful weapon. So, yeah. That's something worth noting. In this case, we've also got some multiple side mounts which can quite comfortably be fitted with point defense lasers. Let's put in the dorsal mount a beam. And this one's not really meant to switch on target much, but it will have a lot of turrets, and it has got the cutting beam against equivalent sized targets as well to help. So that one seems like it might be a decent enough armor type to bring in. So let's
Design entered
do
into
that too.
Neo archives.
Now at the destroyer, as you saw, we got the spinal mounted one with pulse lasers and particle beams fitted. We can't fit the phaser beam in the middle there though. So an alternative take would be the armor type with phasers and side mounted beams. I'll do that to it. Yeah, this one would hit fairly hard, actually. Well, of course, we've got the war, which carries instead 3 phasers. In fact, we could do that. The war section with point defense beams on the back, 3 phaser beams in the middle. That seems
Yes,
okay.
sir. Ship design ready for construction.
And then let's actually bring in an armor type as well. Let's give it the strafe. Give it. This is more of a gunship kind of thing. In fact, no. Let's give it the hammerhead. This one likes to do nasty things. I think that's also just give it the point defense as well. Hammerhead is a really good general purpose point defense turret to have fitted on the front. I mean, compared to the standard one, which only has 1 dorsal mounted, the hammerhead just offers so much better coverage. At least on the destroyer. There we go. Let's do that. Let's do that. So,
Design
new armor
entered
mark,
into
the
Neo
armor mark
archives.
5, which is and again a marked increase in price, but it's also the armor mark 4. I already worked one out. That's okay. In fact, no, I think I prefer the mark. No. Yeah, I forgot that I worked this out earlier. More accuracy or more fire rate to more DPS? Let's go with the original version with the higher DPS, shall we? Because the X-ray does offer that. But yeah, there we go. We've been designing some random ships. Huzzah! I think I will not take out those 2 planets, though, I will actually go ahead and build for me a... That's a dreadnought. Build for me a refinery ship.
Construction project initiated.
I'm going to leave those planets. I'm going to try and research in the tech to
System
take them over
update.
flat out.
Course plotted. Engaging node drive.
Yeah, let's do it that way. Let's do it that way. Now, there was another bit of comment, of course, I mentioned before. So, first part of the comment, which I'm reading second.
Over time and over budget. But at least we finally have this tech director. Full funding received, sir. Thank you.
Drone satellites might get in next turn. So, I like Phantom Brigade. If you want to make it a series, I'll definitely watch every video. One thing I'm wondering is like what shape the Phantom Brigade videos would take. It's highly experimental and unstable, but there is a feature in there for viewing the entire battle recording in one go.
Update.
It's just that for some reason it's recalculating everything all the time. Why are you unsecure? Oh, it's because this planet is involved and that's not a secure planet, I guess. Then again, I don't have anything in there anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. So, it would be 5-second segments because for some reason, while saving the recording, it doesn't save like it has to recalculate the recording the whole, and then won't remember everything properly. So I don't know why they record it that way, but that's how they do it. Game is 90 by tactical that shows importance of positioning. It's often quite easy to make enemies shoot each other by running the right direction at the right time, though I don't entirely like the new map system. I never actually played with the previous map system, so I don't have relevant experience for it, really. And yeah, I'm just separating. Actually, I'm not correctly separating because I actually had I built 3 cutters per planet, not 2. There we go. Right. In case you don't know, the old overworld and the entire country map loaded out once. I did not know. I never actually got to play around with the previous map, as I said. And I've once again separated only 2 destroyers out. There we go. Right. You can freely move between territories. The enemies often move to reinforce other territories via convoys you could raid. Those other territories had different equipment levels as well, which you can exploit quite easily. If you just had to win a fight in a higher level area to get high level equipment loot, got enough of that loot, and the workshop level would adjust, letting you freely craft higher tier stuff. Oh yeah, that's right. They redid the entire bit like progression system, didn't they? At least I think they did. Have I just separated out a group with 3? I did. Why do I keep doing that? I don't know. Anyway. That should be enough-ish for all groups, though it says it has got some production still going on. One more program. Oh, wait, it doesn't actually have a propaganda locally. That's it.
Navcom programmed.
Yep, that refinery there lets things move past it.
Yes,
All
sir.
well and
Fleet
good.
on heading alpha.
So, how stuff. Start the game getting a team of 2 to 3 long range, rush to neighbouring level 7. After a few sites, have enough weapons to have a chance to the next neighbouring level 13. And once I returned to the first area after the tutorial, my damage output was significantly higher than expected of me, making annoying early game grinds faster and easier. I'm going to say, actually, since I've been playing a bit, as I said,
Course plotted.
on my own.
Engaging node drive.
I'm not sending anyone else to Hydra, am I? I am not. Okay, good. Though I think I've also not built enough fleets for all my worlds either.
Fleet moving out.
I have not
Navigation.
really.
Set course.
That's okay. Yeah, I miscounted my number of colonies. I need to build more ships. Give me a second.
Over time and over budget. But at least we finally have this tech director.
Latuke Aradabe Ictone, Sentience of Galaxy Orandos Violet's Oration. Hear the judgment of the peacekeepers of Stellar Generation Prime. Your violence against each other has attracted the attention of this enforcer. While it maintains this sector, all acts of interstellar violence will cease, and all production of war vessels shall halt. Should the enforcer detect either aggression or a build-up towards aggression, it is programmed to take steps. Steps beyond your imagining. All these worlds are yours. Use them together. Use them in peace.
The Enforcer. Okay, so I thought that was like the Enforcer. Something concerning though, which is acts of violence may draw it. So fighting. We're not actively fighting the Zuul yet. We've actually not really done much of anything with the Zuul. Let's be fair, but that's because I've been building up my capability. That's the drone technology. Let's also pick up drone squadrons, which will give us the cruiser-sized equivalent.
Full funding received, sir. Thank you.
There we go. Build up towards. Do propaganda and police vessels count towards that? I don't know. I genuinely do not know. There you go, the Peacekeeper. When he runs battle, he takes on the invader. He then looks to see if the defender has fleet exceeds his parameters. If it's too large, he will fix it, quote unquote. It's within allowed defense fleet size. He'll wander off to the next den of trouble. Sentience. He kills whoever, whatever shoots at him. He is a cop. Encounter type Grand Menace. Good guy most of the time. When he's around, just tech up and econ up. He'll fix those huge fleets of cruisers and dreadnoughts the AIs are fielding. Unlike other Grand Menaces, the Peacekeeper will return to this part of his beat every so often unless defeated. Each time it will stay in the galaxy for about 25 turns and enter the largest battle each turn. If no battles, it will fix fleet of about 50 command points. It will not attack fleets guarding trade lines. If you're not an invader, press the no fight, down left, hold weapons fire, top left, at the start of combat, and it will mostly ignore you. Huh. But also way more powerful than I can readily take on at this point. So, yes. That said, I do not have any fleets of the requisite size to draw its attention, so I think I should be fine, because my biggest fleets are trade fleets, flat out. Apart from that, my biggest fleet is probably this one, at size 13. So no, I'm fine, I think. Now watch me end turn, and it turns up and says, "Hey, don't go using propaganda ships. How dare you?" No, the AI is far more to worry about in this situation than I do. I suspect because they've been building up fleets the whole time.
System update.
Yeah. Aggressive acts or build-ups aggression were dealt with. But I think I'm absolutely safe. Wait a second, have I built the wrong... Why have I built 8 cruiser-grade refineries at this planet? I don't remember building that. Oh well, whatever. I just
Aye, sir.
darn thing just
Abandoning
messed me up a little bit, doesn't it? Oh, I built refineries instead of propagandas. Whoops. Well, that should fix that.
Construction order placed, Commander.
Okay. Okay. We're good. We're good. Right, let's go back to the thing. Enter. You were make early game grinds faster and easier. I've not
System
noticed any grind
update.
really with the new campaign structure, so that's something I will say about it.
Ahead of schedule.
You're also allowed to freely repair your mechs during travel time. Okay, I need to pick up a new thing. Yes, I've got access to advanced frames. Okay,
Yes,
that'll
Commander.
that'll
I'm
improve things a bit.
initiating research project.
2 turns, sure. Allowed to repair mechs freely during travel. Only the pilot's occasionally breaks to be allowed in allied towns or bases. Also enter freely and use as many times as you want. The only downside of the old map system, the whole map always active and loaded. The overworld was very laggy. Yeah, it can be without some kind of like simplification or overarching optimization of the process, honestly. So I'm not surprised if it was laggy on the main map, if everything was loaded at once. In comparison, the new map system only lets you access a single territory at a time, turning the whole game into a semi-roguelike game with limited rest opportunities. As much as I like the performance upgrades of the new system, the old one was more fun to play. Again, I don't know. And oh god, we got a VM Berserker. Fort, you're an old colony, you're a really good colony. It was nice knowing you. I think I'm about to lose you. We have outdated armor Mark 3s against a VM Berserker. Give me a second while I just look this up. Sword of the Stars. VN. Oh, VN. It's actually a von Neumann Berserker. Oh dear, this is actually a penalty because I killed the von Neumann probes over my colonies. Right, okay. So, here's the description of the VN stuff. Von Neumann motherships are the resource collectors. Von Neumann berserkers only appear if you have managed to kill them over inhabited worlds. Berserker will appear about 8 turns later to seek revenge. The Berserker is closer to a dreadnought in size. It carries a number of cruiser-like saucers, which it launches, all of them, when it gets close to the planet. It's best not to kill the cruisers. It's best to destroy the saucers while they are still attached to the Berserker. After they launch, they scatter and are hard to hunt down. If they reach the planet, they'll vacuum up significant resources and your people will die. Great. Encounter type, mobile, non-random encounter. I always wondered where the Berserker came from, but I didn't realise it was tied to defending against a von Neumann probe. Huh. I might actually have to consider not defending against von Neumann probes in the future. Interesting. But this thing outguns me massively. Also worth noting, by the way, this is also at a point where I forgot to rebuild my defensive satellites. This is not going to end well for me.
Never seen it before, Commander. You think it might be a cousin? Black 6. Reinforcements arriving.
Turbines to speed.
Oh boy. So, this world is probably going to be in a very bad state.
Vessel detected. Target data received.
It's launching its saucers. These have individual weapons and things on them. And as you can see, they are very rapidly taking my defensive destroyers apart. They've got light emitters, they've got heavy drivers, they've got Gauss guns, and a couple of them, as you can see, are after the planet as well. So, yeah. There you go. Oh, I still had 2 destroyers over here? Oh yeah, I had 10. If only I had satellites, it would help, but even then the satellites wouldn't have really done much to stop all this. Yes, I had realised their planet's under heavy attack. So this is the problem with self-replicating robot probes. They are very, very angry. Oh dear. In fact, I think my last unit is just flat out the planet, so yeah.
Our colony can't survive much longer.
Look at this, they've got shields as well. Yeah, I never stood a chance.
Research successfully completed, sir.
We have lost a world, Commander.
There you go, we lost a world. We lost a world. I will build a biome colonizer immediately and retake that, because
Construction
every turn
project initiated.
what's on there will degrade. Interesting, there's civilians and 120 infrastructure on there, and resources, but yeah. Colony was destroyed, 400,000 Imperial citizens lost, 400,000 civilians lost, infrastructure reduced by 67, 130 resources were added to the system. Oh, that's odd, the wiki indicated that it would be removed from the system. And 10 ships were destroyed. So yeah, that was fun. On the other hand, I also got advanced drone frames, so there is that. How are we looking at for that? Ooh, we are in the research range for AI now. More or less. Okay. Okay. Let's have a look, see though, at the alternatives. We've got access now to the drone satellite version, which is... It replaces the missile launcher with a pair of drone ships. Yeah, no. How useful are drone ships, Iron Mark III? What are you looking at? Well, by default, they carry a single small laser, I believe, like a single best small weapon, so X-ray laser in my case. And they're little outriders, kind of like the silicate swarmer things, but they are quite fast. They are little independent ships, and they can fly away from their hosting thing. So these platforms would launch those fighters out, but once the fighters were taken out, then they would be removed from the battle, so there wouldn't be anything to replace the fighters, I don't think, once they're gone. But I researched advanced drone platforms, which is giving me access to the Rider tab down here, where we can actually see what's going on. So default drone swarm, built with our best current tech, so we've got a pair of X-ray lasers. And we've got an upgraded version of the assault shuttle as well, which carries a defensive gun on it too. So that helps. We can also up armor them as well to make them a bit more survivable. Yeah, we can up armor the basic drones as well. But we've also got access to a heavy drone, which is actually a drone carrying a medium weapon. So yeah, we can get drones carrying phasers, if we are so inclined. Or double barrel of those as well. So actually the question comes then, how does it compare in stats? 360, 300, 230, 100. Tactical speed is 50 slower, but it has got more armor and more mass. It's also quite a bit more expensive to go for a heavy drone, but yeah, but it's got better durability. I think it is bigger though too. Only slightly bigger. Interesting. Okay, so I have to think about that one. But remember, I also unlocked some segments as well. So in my destroyer set, we now have access to some... there should be a carrier in here somewhere. Yep, there is. Drone carrier, which in itself carries a pair of drones with it, as well as carrying a couple of underslung small mounts. So helpful. Potentially quite helpful. And then if we go to the cruiserweight one, we have got 3 drones and 3 drones, so we can mix and match different drone types on the bigger ships. And again, it carries some other defences. In this case, it's got 4 small turrets as well to just help out. So yeah. Also, I think this is because we've got the Blazer. We've got a heavy assault carrier version. Actually, what is a heavy assault carrier version? Oh, it's carrying assault shuttles. In this case, it has 4 assault shuttles. And I don't think there is... No, there is not a normal one. So this is the advanced one unlocked from having advanced hulls. In this case, we do have the assault shuttle version, but we can fit this with the more advanced assault shuttle as well. So that would be my planetary raiding thing. Interesting, interesting. We've also, and this is going to be playing a big role going forward, we've unlocked our first tiers of command and control. So this is like command ship. It has to be out in the field. It is there acting as the nerve center. And so long as this thing is active, it can control the order of incoming reinforcements. It can control the starting deployment of our fleets. And it also acts as the arrival point for backup jumping into the fight, rather than randomly appearing at a preset spawn point. They'll actually come in, backing up the command and control ship. Though because of this, in any fight, the command and control ship is actually kind of fragile. It's a bit underpowered compared to other ships of a similar size. And it's a priority target, so we want it to survive, really. So this is why I took the tech and immediately punted it up to cruiser size in the form of the Strike Force CNC section, which is great because it's got 6 small lasers fitted on the sides. But that's fine. This thing is very much, as I said, like the nerve center, and this will help me to arrange our fleets a lot better. We have to get there though, don't we? I think we're about done for this episode as well, but I'm thinking about the time of it. Yes, we are about done. So stuff like that will have to come next time. We will, though, retake our lost planet very quickly. And to also unlock this, we will pick up the photonic torpedo.
Full funding received.
Though disruptor
sir.
is
Thank
also
you.
a potential one as well. And this will give us access to torpedo-specific segments as well. Charge ball, NGL on targets, does superficial damage, chance to shorting out some systems on target ships. So disruptor basically disrupts the target, is what it says. Then photonic torpedoes, self-sustaining field of laser light wrapped around an EM field. This is a rapid pulse direct fire long range torpedo that cannot be shot down. So this is actually a unique torpedo and one that you don't always get, but its function is a bit more like a combat laser in how it works, because this is like a volley of shots straight forward, and as I said, it's so fast it can't be shut down. All other torpedo types can actually be intercepted. That one is basically the exception to the rule, so it's a decent one to come across anyway. And as I said, it's by no means guaranteed. It's one that a lot of races don't get their hands on.
We have made a breakthrough, Commander.
Very good, thank you. Launch the biome colonizer over to this world here.
Yes, sir. Fleet on heading Alpha.
Notice, by the way, I seem to have got another race seems to be scouting me right now. You move over there as well, please.
Aye, sir.
Which means I don't dare just send a colonizer over there to colonize, because as soon as I do, that lone scout will actually go ahead and damage my ship. So, you know. Gonna wait. Actually, your colony, can you build up a repair and maintenance ship super quick for me?
Shipyards getting up.
You
Aye,
can,
sir.
thank you.
Standing down.
Can you give me a Blazer?
Construction project initiated.
Yes, you can. Okay. And we've also got access to gluonic torpedoes. Capable of penetrating deflector shields as well as circumventing energy absorbers. So this is like basically a shield breaker type torpedo. Let's go for... Yeah, that's missile tech. Let's leave that. Let's actually go ahead and... I'm almost about to say start researching for savings. Sorry, not savings. Artificial intelligence would be nice.
Full funding received, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, let's push it on artificial intelligence. Let's go and have a look-see, shall we?
Drives to full.
The fact that the Lear are so scouting me
System update.
implies that they are
Sir,
probably in one of
we
these
have
two
an
clusters
incoming
here.
bogey.
And I do need to build up my light defences. Because I keep forgetting to do that.
Construction order placed, Commander.
Cross my fingers.
System update.
Oh, it's overrun. Uh-oh. Drop progress 25%. Okay, so our first AI tech is actually overrunning. That said, though, I have taken back Fort, which is rather battered, sadly. But it will rebuild itself fairly soon. It's going to get there.
System update.
I want that AI tech, but it's pushing. I want that tech. Gimme. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Please. One destroyer.
System update.
And notice it went into attacking
Over
those single
time and
destroyer.
over budget. But at least we finally have this tech, Director.
Whew. Okay, right. AI basic tech. Got 50% increase. We have access to all three sub-branches. We got the fire control system, which is a very powerful, in and of itself, command section for all ship types. It's got very good accuracy, it's got very good turning speed, it's got fairly heavy weaponry and durability, but it's not specialized, like it doesn't have battle lasers and torpedoes and stuff like that. So in general it's a good one, but it's not flat out the best. It's just very useful. Factories increases industrial output of all worlds by 50%, and administration increases financial output of all worlds by 50%. And both of those can help towards research. Administration counts more, but industrial output is also a big help. And we do have the 3-turn sweet spot, which is kind of where you want to be aiming for going into research tech. So we are starting to get there.
Yes, Commander. Initiating research project.
Give me AI administration, please and thank you. Yes. The fact is that now we've got the fish that know where we are, though. Last thing I'll do is I'll quickly have a look around. Unlocking a torpedo weapon has given us the torpedo section for our destroyers. So, you know, in and of itself, okie dokie dokie, pretty good. Again, not so useful now that I've got cruisers, but it can serve quite useful to have like cheap escorts of these with various torpedoes. But on this case, we have a new assault command section, which is heavy combat lasers plus a torpedo launcher. So pretty good. And we already seen the blazer. But we've also got a barrage section here, which is a pair of heavy combat lasers and a pair of torpedo launchers fit in as well. So there isn't a specialist like torpedo version, I don't think, as far as cruisers concerned. it all pairs up with the heavy combat lasers for focused forward firepower, but it does add some variety into what the ships can do quite usefully. This blazer, just double check on my list. Refinery, repair, yeah, it doesn't add anything else, but again, we've got another option though going forward. And photonic torpedoes are actually pretty decent because they've got, as you can see, they are very long range. In fact, they quite handily beat out the cutting beams, and they actually rival our guided missiles. It's just that these are unguided, but they are very fast. So that is another option for us in terms of ship design. If you want to see me try to field a certain ship design, though, again, just let me know in the comments for that kind of thing. I don't have any specific questions this time, though, because I think I've kind of decided what I want to do regarding some of these things, which is probably just get the subjugation tech for these two worlds and then take them over. But we will be preparing for war with the Zuul. We just, they aren't readily engaging us right now. They're probably at war with someone else among their immediate neighbours too, so, you know, we have to wait and see. But we'll deal with that some other time. This is Matthew. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps me, helps the channel, give me those virtual headpats I oh so crave. I'll catch you all some other time.
Aye, sir.
The good news is we've almost got our current trade forces sorted out. They just need some repair ships in the mix, really, to help keep them all in tip-top shape. But we'll get there pretty soon. There we go. And lots of my worlds are getting propaganda and police forces too. So it's all good. It's all good. Kinda.